I'm going to be replacing the coolant in this ML350 Bluetec W166 body. The car actually has the wrong color coolant in it. It's got a pinky color coolant. It should be blue. It should be an MB325.0 coolant. So the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, let the car cool down. Make sure that the car is actually cool and there is no pressure built up in the coolant tank. While it's cooling down, what I'll do first is I'll get under the car and remove the plastic panel, which is this piece here, is just underneath the radiator. It's being held up by a few 8mm screws. Okay, I've taken down the plastic plate that sits under the radiator, and now I'm just zooming into that round plastic black tube there. That's the drain tube, so I'm going to use a 10mm hose to plug in there, and just next to it on the right there is a black thing that I guess I got to turn to drain the coolant. Okay, so I've turned that knob 180 degrees and the coolant is just draining out really slowly. And now I'm just going to top it up with distilled water, and I notice there's these holes here which runs along the top of the radiator, so I'm guessing this is where the air will escape as I'm topping up the distilled water. I'm also adding this radiator flush and clean with the first distilled water run that I'm putting through. I'm going to run this for 20 minutes as the instruction says. I'm going to leave the cap open so that it can burp. Okay, I've just started the car running and I've put the heater on maximum and the fan on low. So this is the first flush, so the color of the coolant is still pink like the original because there were about 3 liters remaining in the engine block. So I expect that to be clearer in about the second flush. There's a bit of air bubble coming out now, so that's just the burping process. Okay, so I ran it for about 15 minutes until all the bubbles, all the burp has been, all the air has gone out with the burping. I closed the lid. I took the car for a 5 minutes drive to make sure that the coolant or the distilled water gets circulated all the way around through, and now I'm waiting for it to cool down before I go on from the top of the car and drain this again. So this is the 4th time I've drained it, and the water as clear as it's gonna get now. So I'll start topping up the blue coolant. Okay, so I've topped up the last bit of the MB325.0 blue coolant. I'm just going to be running the engine now for about 10 minutes to make sure that all the air bubbles are escaping. As I keep an eye on this, I just top it up as I go, and I notice that it is going down a little bit each time, so which means the bubbles are coming out, and the coolant is going down to take the spot where the air bubbles are. So just one point to note, I actually forgot to take out this hose before I reached down under there to get to the petcock. I actually crushed this, so I've temporarily put duct tape in this for now, and then I gotta buy a new one of these. So again, thank you for watching.